What's good, everybody? It's your man, the myth, the legend, the voice, bringing you this week's timeout. This is where we take a step back and assess the game of life, looking to God for strategies to bring us true success. This week's thought, training table. When I say training table, that may bring different things to your mind. It may bring to mind being on a training table and having a trainer work on, sore muscles or, pinched nerves or things of that nature. Although this is somewhat related, it's not quite what we're talking about. Now, at training facilities, which is what separates professional organizations from others, you have all kinds of things available, like that training table we talked about, because the trainers are there to help you with the strength and conditioning and recovery and things of that nature. Also, in these kinds of facilities, you have things that will help you improve your skills. For a baseball player, they may have some sports metrics where it records your swing and shows you where to make changes with it. Also, in the throwing motion for a pitcher or for a football player, quarterback specifically. They work on different things as far as like your foot placement and hand placement and just a number of things at training facilities. A lot of skill improvement is available there. And like I said, the strength and conditioning, the recovery, you have your cryo and your ice baths and your saunas and, your pools and all kinds of stuff there. Plenty of rooms for you to review tape and work on your game, as well as work on strategizing for the opponent in your upcoming match. But something else is there, and this is what I'm speaking about primarily when I say training table, is that there's food. There's breakfast and lunch available most days at training facilities. You don't have to worry about, what am I going to eat? It's there for you. How am I going to pay for it? It's already taken care of. For the organization, they feel that if you are there working on improving your skills, this is one thing we don't want you to have to worry about. It's a perk for showing up and making yourself better, is that you don't have to worry about what you're eating or what you have to take in nourishment wise. And oftentimes the food that they have there will be created in a way where it should improve your performance or allow you to perform at a peak level. That's the training table that I'm speaking of primarily. And when I think of that table, I think of what the Lord did for the children of Israel as they just came out of Egypt and were in the wilderness. They'd run out of food. Egypt and its army have been swept up in the Red Sea, the same Red Sea that the Lord parted and allowed Israel to go through on dry land. He took that same thing and destroyed Egypt. But when they got to the other side, they were out of food. And instead of remembering, wow, the Lord just brought us out of this, and he's still leading us with, literally his presence in the camp with a pillar of fire by night, giving us passage and lighting our way, and a pillar of cloud by day. They were focused on, which we do. We forget, just like the Israelites, we forget what God has done, and we focus on right now. Right now, I'm hungry. Right now, I can't feed my kids. Right now, I don't know what's going to happen to my livestock because there's nothing around here for them. So the Lord provides for them just what they need to eat. And they call it manna, which means, what is it? So this that the Lord gave to them was so miraculous and so mind-blowing, they couldn't even think of a name for it. It was just like, what is it? And that's what they called it, was manna. Now, this manna that the Lord provided for them every day, he gave instructions on how to collect it and use it. There was a certain amount that was supposed to be gathered for each person daily, because that would take care of their need that day. If you gathered more than that, whatever was left over would spoil, and you have this horrible smell and maggots all infested in it. And that's because people are being greedy. You're trusting in the resource versus trusting in the source, which is God, who provided that resource. Likewise, you had to get up and get out there and get it. It didn't just, show up at your doorstep and automatically drop itself inside your tent. No, you had to go out and collect it. And if you waited too long in the day, the sun would cause it to melt away and evaporate. So, if you were lazy, you would lose out on the opportunity that God provided for you to have the resources that you needed. That causes me to think of the U.S. health crisis that we have, especially when it deals with obesity. We just kind of take in, and we never put out. And that's causing all kinds of issues. Likewise, in order to get what God has for you to receive, sometimes you got to go out and get it as well. The Lord provided this to them, and he kept providing this miracle for them every single day, so much so that it became commonplace. They stopped looking at it as the miracle that it was, and they stopped being grateful for it. They started complaining about it. It was complaining that they didn't have any food. Now they're complaining about the kind of food that they have. They think, oh man, what? I wish I had some meat. Now say, hey Lord, I would like some meat. But to complain, I gotta eat this. What's the name? I want some meat. That's not the way that the Lord wants us to be. We need to be grateful for what he provides for us every single day. They thought, oh well, I need some meat. Okay, he gave them some meat and they got sick on it. So we may think we know what we need, but we don't really know. That it's a lot of times it's more of a want. The really what we need to look at here is that every single day, the Lord provided for Israel just what they needed. And in the model prayer, there's something that harkens back to these days in it, where Jesus teaches them as they're praying to pray that the Lord provide their daily bread. He wants us to look to him daily. Like, this is one of the true indications of faith, is that are you looking to him daily for what you need, not relying on yourself, not relying on your strength, but knowing that yourself and your strength comes from him. If he doesn't provide that for you, if he doesn't make a way for you to use it, you can't have it. And what he really wants us to do is look to him every day and focus on today. This is really living by faith, because you're believing God every day for what you need every day, versus looking too far in the future and getting anxious about it and worrying about how he will provide, or how more so how you will provide, when we really need to look at how he's going to provide. Or focusing on the past and just dwelling on some areas where things didn't quite go the way that we wanted it to go, but not paying attention to the fact that we're here today and we got past and through those things, and or he gives us the power to get through those things through the resources he provides. So here's the play. We don't know what tomorrow holds, but we do know that God holds tomorrow and that he knows what it holds. So remember what he's done. Thank him for what he's doing and trust that he will provide for tomorrow. Seek him daily and trust that he knows best. It's your man, the myth, the legend, the voice, with this week's Time Out. All right, time to get back in the game of life. Until next week, ready, break.